Hello students, welcome back to my YouTube channel Mathematical Lens by Ganitha. In this video, we are going to continue with chapter number 2, Power Play of Grade 8 Mathematics of the new NCERT textbook Ganith Prakash. So we are going to understand exponents and powers further in this particular video. So the other side of powers, let us try to understand. Imagine a line of length 16 units. Erasing half of it would result in what will happen? Let us see. 16 units. So suppose if I draw a line of 16 units over here, and if I divide it by half, so somewhere here, so it will remain 8 centimeter, right? Suppose it is 16 units, then it will be 8 units. Now let us understand it through exponent and power. So 16 units means 16 is 2 raised to 4, right? So it is written as 2 raised to 4. Erasing half means you are dividing by 2. So 16 divided by 2, which gives you 8. Now if you understand the same thing, 16 here 2 raised to 4 means 2 is 4 times 2 into 2 into 2 into 2 divided by 4. So divide by 2. So 2 gets cancelled. So what is left is 2 into 2 into 2, which is 2 cube is 8 units, right? So this is one thing. Now erasing half one more time would result in, right? Now what are we left with is 2 cube, that is 8 units, right? So first we divided by half, 2 raised to 5 divided by half, and then again one more time divide by 2, right? Now observe these brackets over here. These are very important things because otherwise the meaning changes. So 2 raised to 4 divided by 2. Now this, like it is 2 raised to 4 divide by 2, both are divided by 2, so what happens? 2 raised to 4, 2, this is power 1 and 1, so it becomes 2 square. So if we subtract 2 raised to 4 minus 2, so you get 2 square, that is 4, right? So it is written here in the simplified form, 2 raised to 4 is 2 into 2 into 2 into 2, 4 times 2, and here 2 times 2. So this 2 gets cancelled and you are left with 2 square, that is 4 units, right? If you understand the same thing diagrammatically, I drawn earlier, I raised it, let me draw it again. So suppose this is 16 centimeter and we divide it by half. So somewhere here we get 8. Now if we divide further by half, now we are left with 8. So we divide this 8 by half. So you get 4 each, right? Halving 16 3 times, right? So this is 16, we halved it once, then we halved it again, we got 4. And now if we halve it again, we are dividing 4 by 2. So you are getting 2 parts, right? So how is it written? 2 raised to 4 divided by 2 cube, right? So 2 is 4 times, 2 is 3 times. So this 2, each pair gets cancelled. What are we left is with 2 units, right? So from this we can say that 2 raised to 4 divided by 2 cube, right? So what is happening over here when we divide, the base is same, so powers are subtracted. Instead of doing all these things, you can directly subtract the powers. So suppose if it is the first part, 2 raised to 4 divided by 2 raised to 1. Like first we were dividing by 2. So it is 2 raised to 4 minus 1, which gives you 2 cube, that is 8. That's the simpler way of doing it. So here we are trying to establish one more law of exponents. Earlier we understood that when the base is same, right, and if we are multiplying two numbers with the same base, like suppose 2 square into 2 cube, then the powers are added. It becomes 2 raised to 5. Now if you are dividing two exponents with the same base, the powers will be subtracted. That is what we need to remember. We are going to establish the general rule over here. But let us answer this question. Now, what is 2 raised to 100 divided by 2 raised to 25? Now, you can see that the base is same in terms of power of 2, right? We need not solve it. We just need to subtract the power. We just understood 100 minus 25, which gives you, let me change the color. So that gives you 2 raised to 75. 100 minus 25 is 2 raised to 75, right? This is the answer of this particular question. Now, in a general form, n raised to a divided by n raised to b. N is same, so a minus b, where n should not be equal to 0. And even a and b are counting numbers, and a is greater than b. Right? We will also understand if a is smaller, what happens. That we'll understand in the next part. But first you should remember that n cannot be 0. N should not be 0. Now what happens if n is 0? Like, now why can't n be 0? Let us understand that. Suppose we take 0 as the base. So if we write 0 as 0 square, so what will happen? 0 into 0 will be 0. If you take 0 cube, then also 0 into 0 into 0. It doesn't make any sense, right? The answer will ultimately be 0. That's why that in general formula n is not equal to 0, right? That you should remember. Now we have not covered the case where the exponent is 0. Now here the base, I explained you that the base, if the base is 0, doesn't make any difference. What happens if the exponent is 0? Like here, for example, what is 2 raised to 0? So here it is explained with a generalized formula. 2 raised to 0 means 4 minus 4. Suppose you are dividing 2 raised to 4 on 2 raised to 4. So 2 into 2 into 2 into 2, 4 times. Again 2 into 2 into 2 into 2, 4 times. Right? So all 2 will be cancelled and you get the answer 1. Right? You remember 4 minus 4 is 0. Instead of 0, they have written 4 minus 4. And if the powers are subtracted, means they are divided. So 2 raised to 4 divided by 2 raised to 4. Right? We are just writing the opposite of the generalized formula, which we just understood. So 2 4 times, 2 4 times. If we cancel it, we get 1, not 0. Remember this. So, in fact, any letter, number a, 2 raised to 0, like 2 raised to a minus a, again it will be 1. So, suppose here any, in general, what do we write? X raised to a minus x raised to a is x raised to a minus a, that is x raised to 0, which is equal to 0. So, just remember that anything raised to 0 is 1, except 0, of course. So 2 raised to 0 is 1, 100 raised to 0 is also 1, 1000 raised to 0 is also 1. Right? Any number raised to 0, any natural number raised to 0 is always 1. So we just understood that when 0 is in power, what happens? It becomes 1. Now let us see when a line of length 2 raised to 4 units is halved 5 times. Right? Now we understand the other side of powers. Till now we were just understanding the division with the power base same and the power is different. We were subtracting it. Now what happens if we are dividing it by a bigger number? Right? So here 2 4 units, it is halved 5 times, means 2 raised to 4 divided by 2 raised to 5. So if we write 2 4 times 2 into 2 into 2 into 2 and divide by 2 into 2 into 2 into 5 times, so 1 pair will be cancelled. What is left is 1 upon 2, that is half. Right? So if we use the general formula, then what happens? 4 minus 5. 4 minus 5 is 2 raised to minus 1. Right? So, and we are getting the answer here as half. So what half means? 1 upon 2 raised to 1. So what does it mean? That if the power is negative, if you want to make it positive, write it in the denominator. Write its reciprocal, right? So power is negative, 2 raised to minus 1 is equal to 1 upon 2 raised to 1 or half, right? So if you want to make a power positive, then just write its reciprocal. Suppose it is 2 raised to minus 2. So you will write 2 square. Right. Now here it is divided halved 10 times, right? So if it is 2 raised to 4, divide by 2 raised to 10. So what you will do? 4 minus 10. 4 minus 10 is minus 6, right? So 2 4 times, 2 10 times. So this you can understand with this long method. This is good for understanding how many 6 are left. 2 raised to 6, 1 upon 2 raised to 6, which is 1 upon 64. We can write it as 2 raised to minus 6. Again, what I told you, 2 raised to, if it is positive, if you want to write it in numerator, we'll just change the sign of the power by writing its reciprocal. Clearly? Clear? Now similarly, 10 raised to minus 3. It is written as 1 upon 10 cube. 7 raised to minus 2 is written as 1 upon 7 square. Can we write 10 cube is equal to 1 upon 10 raised to minus 3? Yes, we can write that. It is explained over here. So 1 upon 10 raised to minus 3 means 1 upon 10 cube. Right? We are writing its reciprocal. That is 1 is divided by 1 upon 10 cube. So division, if you want to convert it into multiplication, it becomes 10 cube. We write its reciprocal. So answer is 10 cube. Similarly, 7 square is equal to 1 upon 7 raised to minus 2. Or 4 raised to a is equal to 1 upon minus 4 upon 4 raised to a is equal to 1 upon 4 raised to minus a. So this is the general formula. N raised to minus a is equal to 1 upon n raised to a, or n raised to a is equal to 1 upon n raised to minus a. Means if the power is negative, we can write its reciprocal and make it positive. If it is positive, we can write its reciprocal and make it negative. But the condition is n should not be equal to 0. This we are established earlier also. This is very important, that n should not be equal to 0. Consider the following general forms. Till now what we have identified is, if the base is same, n raised to a into n raised to b, then the powers are added. Again, the power of power n raised to a bracket b, so we multiply n raised to ab or ba, both are same, ab or ba, you know that product 2 into 3 is 3 into 2. You'll get the same answer. And also the third formula which we established is n raised to a divided by n raised to b. So base is same, power will be subtracted. These are the general formulas which we have understood till now. So we had required a and b to be counting numbers. This is important. Can a and b be any integers? So will the generalized formula still hold true? So if they are integers, suppose the power is negative. So let us see. Suppose I take n raised to, instead of n, let me take it as some number. Let me change the color first. Suppose I take 2 raised to minus 2 to 2 raised to minus 3, right? So 2 raised to minus 2 means, we just understood, we write its reciprocal, and 2 cube. So 1 upon 2 into 2 into 1 upon 2 into 2 into 2. That gives you 1 upon 2 raised to 5, right? So this is one thing. Now if we use the formula, what will happen? We just add the powers. Let me again change the color so that you can understand both the ways. So if the base is same, the powers are added. So minus 2 minus 3 becomes 2 raised to minus 5. The minus 2 minus 3 is minus 5. And if we write its reciprocal, it becomes 2 raised to 5. So we are getting both as same. Right? So what was asked? We had required a and b to be counting numbers. Can a and b be any integers? Will it still hold true? Yes. So we can explain that through example. Correct? So now there are some questions based on this. Write equivalent forms of the following. Right? So first question is 2 raised to minus 4. Power is negative. So what do we do? To make it positive, we write its reciprocal. 2 raised to 4, and 2 raised to 4 is 1 upon 16. This few facts you should remember. 2 raised to 4 means 2 is multiplied 4 times. So 2 2s are 4, 4 2s are 8, 8 2s are 16. So you get the answer as 1 upon 16. Now 10 raised to minus 5. So again we make it positive. So it becomes 1 upon 10 raised to 5. 10 raised to 5 means 5 zeros. Remember that. So it is 1 lakh. 1 upon 1 lakh is the answer. Okay. Now here the base is also negative and the power is negative. We can't do anything with the base. What we can do is we can just change the sign of the power to make it positive. So 1 upon minus 7 raised to 2. Now how to solve this further? 7 square minus 7 square means minus 7 into minus. So what will happen? Here it becomes 7 sevens are 49 and minus minus becomes plus. So it is 1 upon 14. Right? So negative. So you can understand that if the power is even, the answer will be positive. Now let us see. Here another question is given where the base is negative and the power is also negative and it is odd. So what happens? Let us see. So what we'll do, we will just change the power, sign of the power, it becomes positive. That means minus 5 into minus 5 into minus 5, which becomes 5 5s are 25. This becomes plus 25. But again, you'll multiply with minus 5, it will remain minus 5. 25 5s are 125. So answer is minus 125. Let me write it clearly over here. Now let us see fourth question. Here you can observe that the base is also negative and the power is negative as well as odd. Here we saw that the power was even. So ultimately you got the answer positive. Now let us see if the power is odd, what happens. First of all, what we will do, we can't change the base. So we will just write as it is 1 upon 5 cube. We need to change the sign of the power. So if you want to make it positive, we write its reciprocal. So 1 upon minus 5 whole cube. Whole cube means you are multiplying 5 3 times. Minus 5 into minus 5 into minus 5. Okay. So what will happen? Minus 5 into minus 5 becomes positive. 25 is minus minus is plus. Then if you multiply 25 into minus 5, you get minus 1. So what you need to remember here is if the power is odd and negative both, you'll get a negative answer. And if the power is even and negative, we'll still get the same answer. Right? So means the answer will be positive. So suppose instead of, why I'm saying this? Just let us see if it, instead of minus 7, it would have been 7 raised to minus 2. If the question is 7 raised to minus 2. So we make it positive and we make it 1 upon 7 square. So 1 upon 7 square is 7 square is 49. So you get the same answer. So base is negative or positive. It depends on the power, whether it is even or odd. If it is even, you'll get the same answer in both the cases. But if it is odd like this, then the answer will be different. One will be positive, one will be negative. Now let us see the last question. 10 raised to minus 100. Now here what we will do, we write its reciprocal 10 raised to positive 100. We need not solve this. We will not sit and multiply and write so many zeros. That is not needed. Okay. So we just make the power positive. So 10 raised to 100. 1 upon 10 raised to 100. That is the answer. Now next question is simplify and write the answers in exponential form. So here we need not solve it, we just need to apply the general laws which we have just understood. So first question is 2 raised to minus 4 into 2 raised to 7. So base is same, so powers will be added. So 2 raised to minus 4 plus 7. So 7 minus 4 is 2 cube. So answer is 2 cube. Let us see the second one. 3 raised to 2. Again the base is same, so powers will be added. So 2 minus 5. Let me write down answer over here so that it's clear. 3 raised to 2 minus 5 plus 6. So you can add the positives first. 6 plus 2 is 8. 8 minus 5 is 3. So the answer is 3 cube. Okay. Then p raised to 3 minus 10. So 3 minus 10 is p raised to, the bigger number is negative sign, so minus 7. And if you want to make it positive, you will write 1 upon p raised to 7. That would be your answer. Okay. Now here 2 raised to 4 and minus into minus 4 square. The power is negative. So first what we do, we make the power positive. Let me solve it this side. So 2 raised to 4 into, if you want to make the power positive, 4 raised to 4 square. So 2 raised to 4, what we will do, we will write 2 into 2 into 2 into 4 times, and 4 square means, but it is negative, so minus 4 into minus 4. So now minus minus gets cancelled, so it becomes positive. Now we will simply cut the numbers. So we can take this 2 2s are 4 and this 4 gets cancelled. 2 2s are 4 and this 4 also gets cancelled. Minus minus also gets cancelled. So the answer is 1. Right? So here the ultimate answer will be 1. You can solve it with taking this, converting this 4 into 2 square also. Now here the base is same. This is easy. The powers are added. So 8 raised to p plus q. Don't get scared if there are alphabets used. You simply need to apply the rule and solve it. So 8 raised to p plus q will be the answer of this 5th question. Right? So we will continue with this chapter in the next video. Thank you.